Hi guys, Jason here with Biowarrior Nutrition. Today we're going to answer the question, is agave nectar healthy and what are the 3 best sugar substitutes that you can use today? So many people today are over-consuming processed sugars and high fructose corn syrups, which can lead to a lot of health problems like high blood sugar and insulin levels. It's a well-known fact that processed sugars and high fructose corn syrups are bad for our health. But when face-to-face at the grocery shelves, it can be difficult to know which products to choose. Agave comes to mind as a healthy sweetener, but is it really? The truth is agave nectar isn't as sweet as we've been told. The question is agave nectar really better than processed sugars or even honey? Let's take a look at the research and facts and see how this natural sweetener can actually negatively affect your health. Agave nectar is a syrup that is made from the blue agave plant, mostly grown and made in Mexico. It's the same plant that tequila is made from. It's also very sweet, about 1.5 times sweeter than sugar. It even has more calories than sugar at approximately 60 calories. The same amount of sugar contains roughly only 48 calories. That hasn't stopped agave manufacturers though from marketing the syrup as a healthy alternative to sugar for those suffering with things like diabetes, claiming it has a lower glycemic index value. The glycemic load is a classification of different carbohydrates that measures their impact on the body and the blood sugar. Blue agave nectar contains a lot of fructose rather than glucose like sugar does. Fructose does not increase blood sugar levels the same way glucose does. Even though agave has a low glycemic index, it doesn't mean it's the best choice. The glycemic index is only one factor to consider when choosing the best sweetener. Agave nectar has some real health concerns that should be taken into consideration. Agave nectar is almost 85% fructose, which is the same simple fruit sugar found in different types of plants. It's also very high in carbohydrates, sugar, and calories with about 60 calories per tablespoon. The biggest problem with agave nectar is that it's extremely high in fructose and it lacks other important nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which make it difficult for the body to process. Fructose is almost completely metabolized in the liver in a process called fructolysis. Fructolysis converts fructose into triglycerides, a type of fat. Triglycerides have been connected with an increased risk of diabetes and heart disease. Not to mention agave nectar is not suitable for keto, paleo, or other low-carb diets because it contains about 5 grams of carbs per teaspoon, versus sugar, which only contains about 4 grams per teaspoon. 1 gram doesn't seem like a lot, but when you compound it over time, your calories and your carbohydrates can really add up fast. The agave plant has some amazing health benefits. The agave plant does have some amazing health benefits. It contains powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. But when agave is processed into syrup using these high temperatures, most of the beneficial properties are actually lost. The biggest marketed benefit of agave nectar is that it has very little effects on blood sugar and insulin levels. There are also claims that agave nectar promotes healthy skin and skin-soothing properties. The challenge with that belief is that, again, the nutrients have been completely stripped, leaving only the high amount of simple sugars, which may actually feed the bad bacteria on your skin and make it worse. Some of the other health risks involved with agave nectar include the incredibly high levels of fructose, a simple sugar that can be very damaging to your health. Fructose can only be processed in the liver, which then converts it into triglycerides, which is a type of fat. Increased triglyceride levels increases the risk of fatty liver disease. Although it may not spike your blood sugar and insulin levels short term, it can contribute to long-term unbalanced blood sugar levels and even insulin resistance. Traditional Mexican medicine makes use of agave for a number of purposes like antibacterial, antifungal, and even anti-inflammatory properties. Modern science is now starting to confirm these century-old traditions with new research reporting that the agave plant contains powerful compounds with amazing medicinal properties. In a recent study by the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, it was examined that agave extracts were found to reduce swelling and inflammation in the laboratory rats by up to 50%. Another study published in 2006 by the American Society for Microbiology found that it helps fight pathogenic fungi and was shown to have antibacterial properties as well. A review published in a 2010 issue of the Journal of Medicinal Plants, research concluded that agave contains phytochemicals with activities such as anti-cancer, antioxidant, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, anti-parasitical, antimicrobial, and coadjutin mineral absorption. The biggest contrast when comparing agave nectar to sugar is their chemical composition. Agave is comprised of mostly fructose and sugar is glucose. Glucose raises your blood sugar levels rapidly. However, fructose doesn't in the short term. However, overconsumption of fructose in the long run can lead to insulin resistance, fatty liver disease, metabolic syndrome, and weight gain, just like sugar. High fructose corn syrup is a nasty ingredient often added to almost all food products today as a sweetener. Products like cereals, granola bars, yogurts, sodas, candy, salad dressings, sauces, condiments, baked goods, chips, snacks, energy drinks, jams, breads, frozen foods, juice, and canned foods can all contain corn syrup. It's in almost everything. High fructose corn syrup is usually genetically modified and it's typically composed of approximately 55% fructose. Plus, it's also been known to have dangerous amounts of mercury. Stevia, honey, and agave nectar are almost all popular natural sweeteners available today. The difference between agave nectar and raw honey is that agave is approximately 85% fructose, while honey contains a mixture of fructose and glucose. Now, does that mean that agave is better than honey? No, and here's why. The agave sweetener sold today in stores is made by heating the agave and then adding enzymes, which actually destroys the nutritional value and with it, the beneficial health properties of the agave plant, creating a highly refined, unhealthy syrup. This process is similar to the one used to process high fructose corn syrup as well. Again, it heats it to destroy all the nutrients available. This syrup has very little in common with the traditional sweetener made and used by the Mexican people for centuries. In contrast to the extremely processed agave nectar, raw honey is super rich in antioxidants and has even been connected with antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and apoptic properties, which means it causes natural cell death. Stevia is derived from the leaves the Stevia rebaudiana plant. 100% green leaf stevia extract has a glycemic load of absolutely 0, and it contains no calories. That means it doesn't affect insulin or blood sugar levels at all. With that amazing info, it's important to note that only pure green leaf stevia extract is the least processed and is the best choice. Instead of using highly processed agave nectars, try using other nutrient-dense alternatives that will not only help you boost your health, but also avoid adverse health effects. So what's the best sugar alternative to use? Here's a few nutrient-dense sweeteners to consider. Raw honey. Raw honey contains several micronutrients and antioxidants which can protect you from free radical damage and slow the aging process down. Raw honey has also been shown to lower cholesterol and triglycerides, which could help reduce the risk of liver and heart disease. Stevia is an awesome sugar alternative. It may actually even be the best one because it naturally has a non-existent glycemic load of 0 and 0 calories. Dates are my personal favorite as a natural sweetener because you get the fiber with the sugar, which slows down the absorption of the glucose to help balance blood sugar levels naturally. Dates are also loaded with critical macro and trace minerals like magnesium, manganese, and copper. In my humble opinion, it's best to avoid agave nectar altogether unless you know that it's not highly processed and heated at high temperatures. Consider other natural sweeteners instead, like raw honey, stevia, or my favorite, dates. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell button to get notified so you won't miss any of our new episodes. You can also join our newsletter to receive articles, recipes, discounts, and sales on all our products. Just go to biowarriornutrition.com. Don't forget to hit the share and like buttons because we need your help to get this message out to all your loved ones and anyone else who can benefit from this information. Thank you so much for watching. Blessings of health.